Good morning. Today's demonstration is on how to create the illusion of a three-dimensional stem on a pumpkin for your pen and ink drawing of a pumpkin. My recommendation is that you use a different technique for your stem that you do for your pumpkin. For instance, I wouldn't even get involved with a line design, but if your pumpkin, the orange or white part of your white pumpkin, if your pumpkin itself is cross-hatching, I would suggest stippling for your stem. If the pumpkin itself is stippling, I would create a stem in cross-hatching. So I'm going to demonstrate both of those techniques. If you have a line design pumpkin, you basically get to choose. That being said, if you would like to take the leap and try to use the same technique, but just alter your cross-contour lines to follow the form of the stem on a cross-hatched stem along with a cross-hatched pumpkin, go for it. That will just further impress me. And if you feel like you can create a stippled stem without those stipples competing with the flesh of your pumpkin, then that, again, will just further impress me. But it becomes very difficult because you have to make sure that none of these values are the same as the values behind the behind the stem or the pumpkin values. If the direction of your lines are the same as on your pumpkin, then you'll lose that form of your stem. So it just becomes really, really kind of tricky, especially at the art survey level. So I'm going to demonstrate now how to create a stipple stem using a full range of values and how to create a crosshatch stem using a full range of values. I'll do the stipple first. Just dipping my pen in the ink right now. I'm taking a look at my stem, and I am going to determine the planes. I'm going to create this plane as step 2. This is going to be a 6, and this is going to be something in between, say maybe like a 4. The top of my stem is pretty light, so I'm going to make it a 2. However, I'm going to get a little darker here because, like the cylinder assignment, you don't want the top of your stem to be exactly the same value as the side of your stem. So, for my stipple stem, just going to create an area that's about a 2 here, without outlining. And then I'm going to create a little bit of a darker edge towards the top and then fade into a step 2. Step 4 over here, take a look at your value scale, that value scale that we did way in the beginning of the practices for these, in case you forget what these steps look like. Here's a step 6. Very tight dots, close together, but not as close as a step 7. And I'm actually going to make this plane very light. Again, a little darker towards the top to differentiate. And these are just my steps that I've made up for this. The most important, or the takeaway from this, is you don't want to have the planes competing with each other. So make them different enough so they really show the form that you're trying to show. I'm also creating a little darker than a step 2 along my edge here. Okay, now for my crosshatch. The fibers on this stem really kind of lend itself to a crosshatch. And crosshatch being so quick, I would recommend anyone doing line design to kind of throw a crosshatch on here. Because of the fibers of the broken stem, I'm going to add in a stipple up top. And then I'm going to follow the form. I'm making curved cross contour lines, and then straight at the plane that's facing me, here's my crosshatch. Going to really drive home that these little spherical things at the bottom without outlining. There we go. We've got stippling and cross hatching.